Hi there, this is Catherine. Thanks you for listening to my SEO Tips micro podcast. So, before we get into today's SEO tip, I just wanted to share with you the ways you can support the podcast if you're enjoying all the tips and finding them useful. So, you can send me a donation at buymeacoffee.com/Catherine W. Ong, O-N-G, and that's Catherine with a K. Any and all levels of donation are appreciated. It will help me offset the cost of producing the podcast. So, that's buymeacoffee.com/Katherinewong. I'd also encourage you to subscribe to our email list to make sure you're not missing any future episodes or any other news about the SEO Tips podcast. And to do that, you'd go to wostrategies.com/newsletter. Okay, on with today's tip.
SEO studies are sexy, but are they accurate? We'll talk more about the impact of confirmation bias in today's SEO tip. Hello, thanks for listening to SEO Tips today. This is your regular reminder that correlation does not equal causation, and many SEO studies you read could be inaccurate, and be wary if you're relying on these for your overall strategies. So here's the essential bit from a recent search engine journal article where they brought on board a statistician to review a couple SEO correlation studies. Quote, "These studies are just looking at one factor. With multiple algorithms in place, there must be many factors all working together. Each must have individual ratings weighted into a total specific algorithm, and then likely weighted again within the aggregating algorithm they use," Jen states. By the way, this is also what Gary Iles and John Miller have said more than once. Specifically, she looked at whether or not the bounce rate correlates with higher rankings for Google. Check out my website for Bing updates. And whether a high domain authority impacts rankings at all. In my experience, which is not a statistical study, I work on high domain websites, and I don't think it has any impact whatsoever, unless maybe you're in a high your money or your life niche where Google relies on a smaller subset of websites to fulfill those queries, and your website happens to be in that subset. But that's more about you being part of an overall machine learning ranking algorithm of a high quality site than a domain authority. Anyway, the article shows how SEO studies that claim how to decode Google and other search engines algorithms are really based on inadequate data and bad science. So that's your tip for today. Follow the best practices, test what works in your industry, and be wary of correlation studies. Thanks for listening. Come back tomorrow for another SEO tip.